Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Chucky Season 2 Episode 3. So, I had no idea that you can watch episodes free the week after they air on the Sci-Fi app. I knew they was on the Sci-Fi app. Whenever I tried to watch them before, I couldn't. But then I was in the comment section reading because I was looking at a clip from episode 4. And somebody was complaining to Sci-Fi talking about how come you stopped posting on YouTube and how come on the app you can watch it for free the week after. I'm like, well, hold up. I went there and boy, it's true. Now, there are some apps that do that, but it's rare. And but there are some apps that actually are like TV network apps are actual free. But then there are some that no matter what, they will not let you watch and stuff. They'll probably let you watch the first episode, maybe the last. That's about it. AMC does that crap where they used to let you watch the first and the last. Now they barely let you do that. I hate how stingy all these apps are getting all the money and crap. I don't feel like paying. And, it sucks, man. This is why people got rid of cable. But anyways, this was an interesting episode. There was some nice stuff in there. There was a weird, bizarre reveal in this episode. But I already knew that from seeing the clips a week prior. And so, I knew what to expect, but I didn't understand why that version of Chucky is in this episode. In fact, I still don't know why that version of Chucky is in this episode. Because apparently in the 4th episode, it's what's her name? Tiffany, Nico, and the twins episode that focuses primarily on them. And it's a campy episode. Which brings me to season 2. Something seems off with season 2. Season 1 is what got me into Chucky. I never watched it as a kid because, horror stuff just scared me. So I never watched it. Plus I wasn't allowed as a kid and stuff. And I remember one time there was a Child's Play movie on. I don't remember which one. I was at my cousin's. They was watching it. So I'm like, crap. So I'm looking down, looking at the screen, looking down, trying to avoid all the scary parts and stuff. So I have seen parts of one of the movies. I just don't know which one and how long I watched it. But the TV show is what got me into Chucky. It was to the point where I saw the first movie. They have it free on YouTube. Not sure if they still do or not. About a year ago, they had the second one free on some app. I started watching it, but then I was too busy. And then I went to go watch it again. They took it down. But yeah, I like slasher horror type stuff. And, it's really cool. When it gets campy, I'm not so much a fan. But season 1 is what got me into the show. To where I started researching it online and stuff like that. And I'm curious to watch the 2019 reboot. I hear it's not that great, but it's free, and I'm just kind of I don't know. But I'll get to hear Mark Hamill's voice, so that'll be cool and stuff. And I like Aubrey Plaza, but I don't know. I hear it's kind of dumb. But anyway, Season 2, I don't know. It seems to be a watered down version of Season 1. Season 1 kept me very eager. Week to week, I was so curious to know what the world had happened. And I was never expecting to review Season 1 weekly and stuff because I wasn't expecting it really to be all that great. But by God, my surprise, it was good. And, I just don't know about season 2. It just seems like a watered down version. There aren't that many kills. Nothing's keeping me on the edge of my seat except for the first episode. This whole Catholic school thing has been somewhat of a bummer. I don't understand why they put them there. And, it's the school where Charles grew up in. Well, I don't know if it was necessarily a school back then, but it was someplace it used to be where Charles used to be at. So you think that would pay off, but so far in 4 episodes, it haven't. So what's the point in putting them there? And when it comes to the 4th episode, which I still haven't seen, but I've seen clips, that seems to be so campy and everything. And I know at some point the Chucky movies were really dark, but then they started getting campy. So campy that they had to stop with Seed of Chucky. Some people like the camp, other people don't. And then that's when they started doing all these reboots and everything. Like Cult of Chucky, I don't think that's continuity wise to that of the original franchise. And so I think that was just his own standalone movie. And so was the remake and everything. And but then Cult of Chucky did so well that like it rejuvenated the franchise to where they brought it back into like a remake, but that didn't do so well. But like, okay, fine, let's just do the TV show, and it worked out perfectly for them. Everything in season one seemed very focused. Like there was a point per episode. This season, it just seems like it's improv and like, they're just making it up as they go. And it's just not having that same appeal as like the first season and everything. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. It's just like all these different versions of Chucky are just so comedic and weird. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know about this season so far. I think season one had 8 episodes, I think. And we're halfway to that point now if they're having the same episode order. So hopefully it pay off. And if it doesn't, well, we'll know how that ends. Also, the fact that Andy is not like so far in this season because he's presumably dead. I don't believe he's dead for a second. I just think he's hurt somewhere. That kind of like make it lackluster too. I mean, it's Andy. You have to have freaking Andy. Yes, you can spin it off to where it's the trio and everything. But if the trio's not like being all that interesting, then what's really the point? But however, when it comes to trio, like so far the most interesting one is Lexi. And that's very shocking to say, because if you knew my reviews from the last season, I didn't like Lexi. I like the actress because I've seen her in a couple of stuff. And like I admire her family because I've seen them and stuff. But I did not like Lexi in season one. However, Lexi so far is the best written character of this season because she's going through so much emotional woes and everything. And she's having so much woe is me moments, The only bad thing is she has an addiction and everything. But she's so emotional this season, you can't help but to feel sorry for her. The second best character is that of, what's his name? Devin. I'm always forgetting that man's name. Or boy or whatever. I think he's like a teenager or whatever. I'm always forgetting his name. I forgot it all throughout season one. But he is so far the second best character because only Chucky, the one that they have captive, is making him go nuts and everything. And sadly, Jake is just there. Like, it's weird. Jake was so cool in season one, but Jake is just like literally just there in season two and not really doing much. He's just a character on the show, but not like a central character. It feels like, but they're trying to make him a central character, but it's not working. Now, there is a new person added to the trio, Nadine. She's the girl from Mighty Ducks Game Changers. She's not in season 2 of that season because she's in Chucky. And her character is very, 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 very chatty. She talks and she talks and she talks to the point even the pastor doesn't even want to talk to her when she has to do confessions and stuff. She's still a kleptomaniac, and at least she's there for Lexi. So Lexi has support to lean on because the guys aren't being there for her, and that's what she wants. Lexi wants the guys to be her moral support. I'll get into Lexi a little bit later. But Nadine, I still like the actress of Nadine. She's playing this character much differently than the one from Game Changers Mighty Ducks. It's expected because completely different show and completely different character. Her acting is good. It's just, she's too good. Like, she's too chatty. It's just like, shut your mouth and stuff. But she's loving Chucky, the nice one. Like he's a little pet or something like that. And so when it comes to that of Lexi, we find out more. See, in the first episode, she was upset because Devin and Jake haven't really talked to her in all the months that's passed by. And so now we find out that it really, really upsets her when Jake and Devin argue and everything. And they've been arguing a lot since they got to that Catholic school. And it really is taking a toll on her to where she has a pill addiction and stuff. And she's so desperate, she's trying to sneak into like, the infirmary, the pharmacy type place, and like, take pills that way, where she almost got caught. Top of all that, she did have a problem with that one guy who she helped send to that Catholic school. And he's making her life miserable and everything. But she's trying to be the bigger person and be like, look, I'm sorry. I mean, my mom put you here and everything. Can we just like move on from this? And he doesn't want to. He wants to torture her. Well, that could have been very interesting this season. But they dropped the freaking ball on that by eliminating him. Chucky ended up killing him and stuff. And it's kind of like, why? He would have been an interesting character to give Lexi more woe is me's, but they got rid of him. And this is where I feel like the writing is off this season. I knew the writing was going to be a little off and everything when the creator of the show said he wanted to cross this over with something. I forget what franchise he wanted to cross this over with, but it's very campy, very silly. And my initial thoughts were, dude, don't go back that campy route. I mean, have you seen how many years it's been since like Seed of Chucky and everything? Like, don't go back down that rabbit hole and stuff. And so like, like I said before, Nadine is there for like Lexi and stuff, and that's good. But Lexi's also upset at her mom. Her mom lost her campaign. She's upset that her mom just doesn't want to live like a normal life and be normal and all this other stuff. She just like when her mom put her there and stuff, And so she's going through a lot. Now, when it comes to Jake and Devin, Jake wants to know why this version of Chucky is there. Chucky has not spoken in a couple of days, about a week since they captured him. It's weird it's been that long. It don't feel like it's been that long. And so Devin's all like, look, man, let's just kill him now and be done with this. And Jake's like, no, he needs to know the bigger picture. And so Lexi's looking on the phone and all she sees is selfies. And it's funny. She's so vain. She's all like, the angles of these selfies are so off. But then she noticed there's a phone number in there with a weird name. And so they have to figure out who this person is. And so like Nadine gives him a great idea. I think it was her or Devin, like, too bad we can't like reprogram Chucky. And so they're all like, maybe we can. And this is the clip that I saw a week ago. And so basically they strap him down, they plug his eyes wide open and stuff to keep him open. And they make him watch tons and tons and tons and tons of horror movies. I don't know what movies these are from, but my God, the practical effects on those things were great. I'm so sick and tired of CGI. But in a way, first, they tried to torture Chucky, but that didn't work. So then they had to resume to the whole programming thing, reprogramming. And so they make him watch tons of horror movies. And he's loving it at first until it's been nearly an entire day. And when he throws up from it, then they're ready to go to step 2. Step 2 is all the cutesy wootsy stuff. Unicorns, rainbows, cuddly bears, stuff like that. He cannot take it no more. Like, he can't. And it breaks him. It breaks him to the point where Chucky is finally good. This version of Chucky is good. However, the problem is once he got reprogrammed to be a nice person, he forgot everything about his past. He doesn't know why he's there. He doesn't know who he's working for. And they don't know like nothing. So they're back at square one. And so Lexi doesn't want to be there to babysit him. But like, she's supposed to babysit because the other ones have to go to class, and she decides to leave because of her addiction. But she left the door unlocked. And so Chucky overheard that if he's not back on the main pastor's desk by like a certain time, they're all in trouble. And so what does he do? He leaves the room and he just sits on the desk and so he can help them out. I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird and stuff, you know? And so let me get into Devin real fast. So Jake and Devin, like, where's the writing this season? Like, those two, when Devin was upset because he wants to kill Chucky and Jake won't let him, they decide to hug it out. When they do, the main pastor dude sees them hugging in a very embraceful way. Then they start kissing and making out in like the cafeteria. And the pastor sees this. So what does he do? Being a Catholic priest, he punishes Devin. He makes him clean like the bells and stuff in the chapel for hours and hours and hours. And then the pastor lies and says it's because Jake will not give up the doll. And so, but they don't know they were caught. And so Jake, all pissed off, he goes in there and says, like, you shouldn't be punishing Devin for like my mistake of taking the doll and blah, 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 blah. And before that happened, he asked the black nun, do you know about Jake and Devin? And she's all like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's all, oh, I think you do. But then the pastor said something interesting. I can't remember word from word. But he said something about sister, whatever her name is, used to hide from sin or something like that too. Indicating in my mind she might have been a lesbian back in the day. And, you know, with the whole religious thing converted. Either that or she still is and she's doing it on the down low. I bet that's probably what it is. Now, this is why I say the writing is dumb. Devin and Jake have a room together by themselves. They bunk together. Nobody else stays in their room. If they wanted to, they could clickety-clack and make out all they want in the comfort of their privacy of their own room, and nobody has to say anything. But what do the idiots do? They do it out in the open in, like, you know, the cafeteria. This is dumb because they are at a Catholic school, and religious people do not like stuff like that. So you'd think they would be smart enough to keep it on the down low, especially how Jake said, you know, they don't like stuff like this when Devin wanted to be out and about. Which can't be out and about some places like that because they run that school and, you know, they're going to make their lives miserable, as Devin found out. So that was just kind of weird in terms of writing. But remember when I said, you know, Lexi doesn't have to worry about like that one dude because Chucky killed him, but how did Chucky do that if he's good? Well, Nadine has to finally now go to confession. She tried to go the day before, but the pastor don't want to talk to her. So she's yammering on about all she did. He's drinking the sauce because he can't take it no more. And all of a sudden, Chucky comes up from behind and chokes him with a necklace with a cross on it. Kills him dead. And then when the boy that Lexi doesn't like plant drugs in her dresser, all of a sudden we see a fist go straight through the boy's chest. And I'm just like, Chucky can't be that strong, can he? But then this is what's so weird. So when the group comes back, they see the dead body there. The hole is the size of a bowling ball. I'm not joking. It's a bowling ball size hole in this boy's chest. Chucky's fist ain't that big. It's the size of a doll. So they have to cover it up. And they do a good job when the other nun has to come in for inspections. And so they know Chucky is responsible. But then at the very, very, very end, the good Chucky is still sitting on the table. It couldn't have been him. Could it? No. Another Chucky comes in with a deep voice, talking about he normally doesn't beat up on lightweights, but he's going to make an exception. And this Chucky is buff, muscular, ripped. And I'm just kind of like, what in the world? Some fans like that, other fans just asking themselves, what the world? Now, of course, how in the world did Chucky get that buff? Now, somebody mailed that doll to them and everything. So somebody is still pulling the strings. Who is it? It has to be a version of Chucky. Now, the ripped Chucky, Could it just be a muscular version that the toy makers made? Or did Chucky start lifting weights? Now remember, when the soul of Charles is inside a doll and is in there for too long, it will integrate with the doll becoming real. This is why Chucky bleeds when you like kill him and stuff at a certain point in time. This is why sometimes he has bones. He literally becomes like a living doll. So he could have just bulked up. But why? And where has this version been the entire time? And also, why did he help Lexi out? If this dude's supposed to be bad and every version of Chucky is supposed to be bad, why did he help Lexi? Chucky literally said a week prior or 2 weeks prior, he wants to kill all those kids and everything. He just wants to get rid of them. So why would he help Lexi out? This doesn't make no sense. And they need to, they better explain very good in the 5th episode because the season is almost over with. So this episode wasn't bad. It feels more like a teeny bopper episode and stuff, which is weird because this is Chucky, you know what I'm saying? But hey, whatever. That wasn't that spooky. All right, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.